Okay, hey, comics and gamers, but mostly the gamers. It's now we're talking about day 2 at E3, when we actually discuss all of the things that we saw once we hit the show floor, or at least I'm going to be discussing that. Once again, it's Wayne Santos. It's not Tim. It's not Usted. I am a lot grumpier and illiterate. Therefore, cue cards are not an option for me. So you just have to deal with me making this up as I go along. Yay! All right, so let's get on to E3 itself. We've been down. We've gone to various behind closed doors things. We've been to the various booths. It's big. It's expensive. It's extravagant. Surprisingly, the booth babes have been kept to a minimum, which yeah. Call me a cranky old man, but I'm not actually going to complain about that too much. But let's talk about the games. What are some of the things that we've seen? Most recently, actually probably less than an hour ago, I got to sit down with Kiler is Dead by the infamous Suda51. So I messed around with that. That's looking promising. It's got that same characteristic Suda51 kind of clunkiness to the control system, but at the same time, it still mimics that characteristic Japanese third-person action systematic combat that most people are used to. But it's got the Suda51 style, which is the reason that most people play these games. We also got to look at Saints Row 4, where yes, you are playing the President of the United States. I came away from my, I think it was actually a half an hour sit down with the game. My impressions when I came away from it is that now that they've got superpowers, it's kind of like Infamous, except that they've taken away all of the class. That's not a bad thing though, because it's like Saints Row is not known for its class, so it would actually be a very sad thing if they started adding it now. We also got to look at The Witcher 3, which is trying to give Skyrim a serious run for its money. According to CD Projekt, the developers, we're looking at a game that is approximately 35 times bigger than the original Witcher 2, and it's supposed to have a playtime of over 100 hours. So, wow, okay. That is indeed pretty crazy. We also got to mess around a little bit with Diablo 3. My experience with it was on the PlayStation 3, and it feels a little bit different with that dodge button. I mean, it's obviously they've tuned and optimized it so that this thing runs a little bit faster for the console crowd, and that's where you get that sense of responsiveness and haste, which tilts things slightly. It feels a few degrees faster and more hectic than the more quote-unquote methodical pace of the original PC version, but it's like we'll see whether or not the console guys go for it. Some of the other games that we checked out, we've spent some time with Oculus Rift. Incredibly, I did not suffer from motion sickness, although quite a few people have when they've tried it. I do admit though that when you're standing still, physically standing still, but you're actually moving around within the Oculus Rift game, there is a disconnect and your brain is going, whoa, 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 okay, what's going on? We've got to get our bearings, except that you never, ever do. For some people, that has resulted in mild to serious motion sickness. For some reason, it didn't hit me. Sat down, played around with some of the Microsoft games. There was Rise, which, as many people know, is a game by Crytek that was originally slated to be a Kinect game, but they've completely ditched all of that and it works with traditional controls. Not that I think that this is actually a gigantic improvement. You can see that because this is ancient Roman warfare, they were going for a more mythic God of War type feel, but Sony Santa Monica has had years to tune the tightness and responsiveness of the God of War engine. Crytek's never really done anything in this genre, so you can feel that they're kind of struggling to get a slickness and a tightness to the controls, which many people just sort of take for granted in third-person action games. It's like, but we'll see. I mean, it's like the game's not final, so there may be a chance that they can pull this out of the fire. Dead Rising 3. Nobody was allowed to play this, but it's like everybody was actually allowed to see what the game was like in action. This is one of those things that the Xbox One owners can actually be happy about, and that it's like non-Xbox One owners can be legitimately jealous about, because it's actually looking pretty good. I mean, it's like the power of next generation consoles is giving us a massive world with metric tonnage of zombies. It's just ridiculous how many zombies they've got on screen at any one given time. The increased processing power is also altering the behavior. It's giving a lot more options, and it's also allowed for a seamless environment where even when you're going indoors and outdoors, there's no loading screens or anything like that to break up the action. So that one is looking quite interesting. Sega's also got some interesting stuff. I like strategy games myself, so I gravitated more towards things like Total War Rome 2 and Company of Heroes, the Soviet version. And both of them are looking pretty good. I sat down, I messed with both of them. It still looks like both of them are not in competition with each other. Company of Heroes is obviously much more tactical, squad-based, and it gives you a lot of options for how you want to fight against the Germans who are attacking the Soviets. Rome still has the big grandstanding formation warfare that the series has come to be known for, but they've added quite a bit of political functionality to this now so that you can deal with the various factions within Rome that are all fighting in-house for power, and it's like you've actually got to take into account what's happening within Rome in addition to just worrying about what's happening on the field of battle. So that's day 2 of E3. Tune in for our third and final day where we'll tell you more about what we saw. Comics and Gaming Magazine.